welcome to another episode of my life experiences. My name is Nyanewa Sosola, your usual host. Growing up, when I was in my early teens, I used to stay in a certain area, and close to my house, there used to live a certain young man, maybe in his late teens or early 20s, I'm not sure of the age, but he was working for a biscuit making factory. At knock-off time, he would bring back a pack of biscuit crumbs. But this young man was also really good at mathematics. So what he used to do, whenever he finds time, he would call out the youth of that area, the surrounding houses, to his home. Actually, he was living in a boys' quarters. So we would all go to his boys' quarters. He would share out those biscuit crumbs, and he would also coach us in math. And all the youth were so happy with that. It happened one day, I had a math problem. I decided to go to his boys' quarters alone. I went there, I was coached in math. I also had my share of the biscuit crumbs. And I went back home, all was good. Later in the evening, my in-law knocked off from work. She called me aside and she confronted me and said to me that, Wezi, the youth have been going to the boys' quarters of this young man. You've been going there. You need to stop going to this boys' quarters. You need to stop going to this guy. I was confused. I couldn't understand why I was being stopped from going to this house. I couldn't understand. It didn't make sense. Actually, we are benefiting because we are having biscuit crumbs. Apart from that, we're also being coached in math. So it didn't make sense to me at all then. But I had no choice. I had to stop. It's only now, after I had grown up, that I understood the thinking of my in-law when she forbade me from going to that house. Because just imagine, the circumstances were not good. I was all alone in the house, in the boys' quarters of this young man, close to him. He's teaching me math. I'm eating the biscuit crumbs. And this is a young man in his late teens or early 20s. He has hormones raging in his bodies. What could happen? He could rape me. He could abuse me. All sorts of things could happen in that particular house. But as a youth, I was so naive. I didn't understand those implications, the implications of going to his boys' quarters alone or going there at all. I didn't understand. It's only now that I've grown up that I do understand my naivety. I do understand my lack of wisdom. I do understand my lack of judgment at that time. And I'm so thankful to my in-law for confronting me and forbidding me before anything bad could happen to me. I'm so thankful for that. So what I've noted in life is that usually as adults, we fail to come to a point of understanding these children, these youth, when they are growing up, that they are not fully matured. Their brain is not fully matured. They lack in judgment. They lack in wisdom. Because I've heard from other people that a human brain is still developing, maybe up to the age of 25 years old, you are still developing. That means their understanding ability is different from that of an adult. Their ability to make decisions is limited. So as adults, these kids have been placed in our responsibility. Whether it's a direct child or whether it's just a dependent, they have been placed in our responsibility for a purpose, to give them proper direction and not put labels on them and not bring judgments or condemnations on them. Some of the labels that we place on these kids are really bad labels. You would say that this is a whore, this is a liar, this is a thief. Ndwakuba ameneyo, ndihula ameneyo, ndwabodza ameneyo. And you end up spreading these rumors to so many people, to every neighbor who comes. You would say to them that this youth is such and such, whether in their hearing or not. But whether they're hearing or not, they can still sense it, they can still perceive it. They're not that dumb. They know that you are talking about them. You are spreading bad news about them. Have we ever thought of the psychological impact that those sentiments, those bad words can have the long-term psychological impacts on the life of those children? Have we ever thought of that? We need to think about this holistically, because sometimes as youth, they may carry and grow with some resentment because of mistakes of the parents in the past. They may have some resentment against people. They may have problems relating to socially. They may have problems acting on their own children just because they are having resentment from the past because of the way we treated these kids. So, guys, God should help us that we should desist from putting indelible labels on these children, indelible ink, something that cannot rub off. It sticks at the heart. So God should help us to desist from that, placing condemnations and judgments on these children, but rather to sit down with them and advise in a loving manner. These are the children of God. They have been placed in our responsibility. We sit down, we advise them the reasons for forbidding them to do certain behaviors in a plain way, open way, not relying on other people to advise them, but telling them this ourselves in love. So guys, these are my thoughts for today. I hope it has been helpful to somebody, to a certain parent, on how we can parent our children to grow up to be healthy, responsible adults. Thank you so much. If you've got any feedback, may you please leave it in the comment section. I really appreciate your feedback. You can like this video, and also please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much. Stay blessed.